Hello, hello, hello. This is Jolene with a Jewel Design, and welcome to a little quick weekend edition. This will be considered a handmade flip through, except this is not something I'm flipping through before I sell it. But I did want to do a flip through like I did with my flip flop notebook, dashing through winter journal that I kept. I wanted to share my December daily with you guys. Really quickly to show you how I used it, anything I may have made in it real quick, and to remind you of the things I made, so you can always go back and look at those videos if it's something that intrigued you. But yeah, I really just wanted to show off some of the fun parts of the book and how it turned out in the end. Nothing too extravagant. I definitely showed you all the fun parts as I was making them. But why not? So welcome everybody, new and old. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, loving, commenting as we get through the month. This would be number 4 technically this month, but I have 2 new ones coming right up this week. So hopefully you will join me as we are working on vellum window inserts. The gingerbread house will be continued on. I have, what's the other thing I hope to work on? Oh, these Kleenex topper scrappy items we're going to make. They're great for tucks and pockets. So things like that. A lot of the stuff I'm making is going to be given away. I have a few friends and subbies who earned a giveaway prize. And so I'm trying to sort of put together a wonderful packet of goodies from me to add to their repertoire, add to their ephemera packet, just to say thank you. So I figured I might as well take you along for the ride. So hold on. I'm so sorry. I will try to slow down too. I get excited and I try to keep it short, but I love to talk. Okay, so the journal topper. I kept calling it a cover plate because I couldn't think of what else to do when I was making it. Heard my mom call it the other day. It is a journal topper, which pretty much is the cover top. The top of your cover for your journals. And I really loved making this one with a cinnamon dyed, scented little file folder. We had some mesh. We have doilies. We have a hard label template. I can't think of the name right now. But tissue, fabric, paper. I loved this fabric. It was sort of started out the theme in the flip-flop vintage journal that I sold in the ribbon ruffles, and I just kept using it. So this is really soft, really light. Love the coloring. Had the beads for the 2 signatures that I sewed in instead of just putting in this because I couldn't cover it. So I thought, well, not bead it. And so I glued down portions of it to keep it from completely sliding. So you had up, down, up, down. Really loved it. Made it actually sort of easy when I was writing because it sort of moved with me, but not in a bad way. So I was really stoked. When I'm done, it does fit in this cute little bag I received from a goodie. And so I'm stoked that I can even keep it covered. I'm like, oh, isn't that just like serendipity in a way? Because who knew? Got it in a gift from a neighbor. And I was like, oh, I think my journal fits in here. I was really happy. So on every page that I didn't have anything to write on, I didn't have anything to maybe glue in, I put a Christmas card on. I definitely had about 6 to 8 of these guys where I just didn't have a photo for the day. The day didn't warrant anything. So you do something with it. And since we timed this and we literally assigned each set of pages to a day, I didn't have the flexibility to go, well, I'm going to write a little more here today or a little less today, or maybe not write anything today. And I'm just going to let the pages flow. If I did, I was afraid I was going to have not enough pages. So we had some blank spots, and that's okay. So I made a tuck here on the 2nd or 3rd video. So I put like the tag from our tree. A lot more expensive this year due to gas. Woohoo! Since we got one from Oregon, we're pretty much paying for gas on that one. This was a list of what my daughter got for her birthday and who gave it to her. So in case we have to go back and look at it, it was a reminder. This was that. I keep doing that. This was the flip up, from the other side, and it reveals a cute little tag underneath from my family members when they gave us a gift packet. There was a video on this just about a month ago, and you can see, how we came across this piece and how we flipped it up. Now, on any page that had photos, if I wanted to put each one of these photos here, I would have still have to shrink them to at least 2 by 3 or 3x2, and it'd be 3 maybe photos per page, and I would have gone 2-3 pages deep before I could get to the writing. And then that's what I was so worried that at the end I wouldn't have enough pages, and in the end I could have totally had days where I didn't need to write anything. So it's sort of in hindsight. I see where December Daily just has a bunch of pages, so you can fill them as you see fit. And when you're done, if there are empty spots, you could, put in your gift cards, or your not your gift cards, your greeting cards. So it's all great. But I didn't mind collaging them. Being a graphic designer, I went ahead and collaged my pages that were, collaged my photos that were, they fit the season. I could put a title and collage them up and get a quick glance at what I was writing about. So when we started this signature, the first half of this signature, it was photos first with the date, and then the writing on it. So, mentioning our last weekend of November, Thanksgiving weekend, and everything that goes on with it, what we got accomplished. As I was, then ordering things, and things were showing up for her birthday party. Here's the photos of the wonderful things that were made by very, very talented women. From the lady who owns her own nail salon and does my artwork on my nails, to, a cake designer, a wood sign designer, and then the whole happy birthday sign that goes on the front yard. It was huge. It was gorgeous. They did an awesome job. She was a local lady, her and her family, or her husband, but they were all ladies that do this. They're all, small businesses, women driven. I just got a kick out of it that, on her birthday, I got to really showcase some really talented ladies to get us, kicked off for the year and her birthday. Same thing, though, a bunch of pictures of all the presents she received. And, of course, again, it would have taken 3 pages deep before I could write up on it. I just was like, yeah. I'm like, maybe not. So, again, clustered it here. Got to see her beautiful face. My daughter, my youngest, took pictures of my oldest, so I could enjoy what was going on. And then I could cluster it up and write about it. So here's a page where it's empty for the 4th. Not a lot was going on, so I got to put one of my favorite cards on it. Write up about it. I worked on this beautiful, shaker insert. Got to write about it. I got to hinge this one in. So again, day 6, it wasn't much to do. I just started goofing around. I'll probably have to erase that. But this one I'm going to have to hinge in if I want to reread the other side of it and not totally mesh it up. I will have to go ahead and hinge that one in, but that's okay. So we'll just erase that really well. I was goofing around. I had nothing better to do at the moment, and so I was like, oh, I'll just draw. Happened in a couple spots. I was like, let me just draw Christmas. Why not? So there we go. I did finally get my ruffle in, though. I got some tissue. I got the 3 pieces of fabric that I've been using all season, and even got to test out my new sewing machine, testing out some final stitches to see how they looked, how they worked, before I went and worked on a quilt that I had to fix up, where I knew, hey, this is going to work really well. If I can keep it consistent and don't start spreading it out, this is going to be a great, sewing place. So, why not? Have some fun with it. So we get to the signature that it does shift, where we have like an empty space, which is about Christmas gaming. It's supposed to be the marathon gaming. And, we didn't do as much as we expected. So I have to I'll refill this in a little bit bigger, not so itty bitty, and keep that scorecard a little bit more organized. I don't even know. And I didn't even write it on this one. So we have some writing to do stuff. So I have a little bit of touch and go. In here, I just realized I have to fill this out again. Got to fix that one card, But like I got to put a list of what Sammy received, like just a quick generic list of the things she received from everybody for her birthday, her birth date. So I got to take a picture of just her with the present I gave her. She really wanted this anime stuffed animal plushie thing, which was her favorite present of the day, of course. So I got to take a big old picture of that with the Christmas tree and stuff, which was great. So when I could, I really emphasized different ways to, whether it was clustered, whether it was a single, or I made a couple little small photos and just, wrote around them as we went along. Some days it was like, yep, this is all that's going on. Because we get to, now when we get here, we're right on this side and photos on this side for the second half of this signature. Wrote about it, didn't get much done, but hey, I was able to get the last of the Christmas outdoor done, because we were waiting for her birthday to be done, so I could finally put all my blow-ups up. and get a couple more things in the porch, you know, and got help from my dad, you know, that kind of thing. We made money one day by, you know, getting some kits done for you guys, me and Lorette. And, you know, here we go. Showed out what the kits were. Sold out of those. Still have 2 of those, by the way. If you're going to do the Merry Monday thing throughout the year, having these gold, green, and this gorgeous, it's more burgundy than that sort of pink there, but the burgundy and green plaid wired ribbon is still available. We still have 2 of those kits, by the way. So, you know, you need to do the Merry Monday, and you're going to do some more jeweled colors, a little darker. Worth getting some of those. What else? Oh, yeah, it's like talking about how a bunch of us are sick. This is when Sammy was first sick before Christmas break, so we did a marathon of TV shows all day. And, you know, my father-in-law did pass away, so I did a little, you know, collage for him, what was going on, and some pictures, so that was great. Those are his parents, my husband's parents. So it was nice to have those pictures. You know, crafting, pictures, anything I was getting done. So I, you know, went ahead and did photos for it. I tried to fill them in if I could, if there was something worthwhile. So that's like just one signature. That was what, day 12? And because it ended where it's here with something on the back, I actually got to end the signature as I wanted to. We on the second side, we did 12 days of gratitude. So up to Christmas, I did the last 12 days, which was great. Sort of had to push some of those days, but we found something to be grateful for. And now we get to do where it's side by side. I have a photo beside the text. There was a lot of back and forth throughout this. We did a lot of working through this, if you look back, and trying to figure out where to put the dates and to make the most of it. So it's a back and forth. It's not consistent, but that's the joy or in the disadvantage of the photo of printing front and back, you know, on with digitals, and things shift and go back and forth. So again, you know, there's days where, you know, yes, I had something going on, but it wasn't picture worthy. It wasn't, you know, there was nothing to brag about. A couple of days as we got before Christmas break, I was like pushing to get things done before the kids were home. Because we had the 16th, 1 week till Christmas Eve, and then we get into my happy mail. So, I feel so bad. Dawn just asked about this. She was double checking all of her orders. I said, yes, I got it. Didn't I share it? And then it occurred to me, I got this on the 17th. I did a last design day on the 16th, and I did a flip through on the 19th, which should have shown this, but this was in the house. I had gotten to the point where this was now sitting in the house so I could look at it every day and fill it in. And I totally missed sharing this, and I feel so bad because I loved it. It made my day. So she made this lovely window envelope pocket. That's what I'm looking for. So you have a pocket here, you have a pocket up here, you have this little pocket here on the side, and if you glued it down, you'd have one more big pocket behind it. Now, she sort of did some cute stuff on the back, but I didn't really want to cover it up. So I washed it in case I wanted to stick something else in here. I had the ability to tuck something behind here in a way where maybe it would stay put, right? I don't know. But she gave me lovely, from scrapbook paper, tags and journal cards to decorated tags, right? This could be Crafty Cat's dolls. It could be from, I don't know who else this came from. It reminded me a little bit of Crafty Cat and her paper dolls, but that might have been someone else. I can't remember. I know she mentioned it when she put it in my Crafters of a Jewel Design. She does talk about it. She shows all kinds of photos. But she made me a set. This was for a swap, and she made me a second set so I could have it in my repertoire. Cute. Where if I wanted to write all over this, I could. I may take it out and use pieces of it next year in another journal. Who knows? But it has scrappy papers. It has pieces from my different journal kits. That was a new vintage one. That was, I think that was for my Christmas Joy. This one is also Christmas Joy, I believe, in the back here. So she used some of my journal cards. Yeah, this was Christmas Joy. So yeah, she used journal cards for me. She used scrapbook paper, the black and white, which I think that is Crafty Cat. I want to say Crafty Cat has a black and white. I hope it's her. I want to say it's her. But she may use some of Tina's too, so I don't remember who she did what. But yeah, Dawn was doing an ephemera swap and decided to make me a set for me and sent it as Happy Mail. And so in the middle of December, when I was really feeling just bleh, it came at the best day possible, and I loved it. So I had to put it in my book, to use it, to write about it, to just share it. And so, you know, you never know. Some pieces might come out and get used again next year. So I just kept going as we went. Like, the date was coming on to, I was like, well, you know, I took a snapshot of my happy planner and threw it on there because I had space, I think, to print. So needed to do something. One of our first gaming nights, our first marathon game night for the break. You know, we finally got to play, and, you know, I think, yeah, Lizzie won the first game, but I won the second game. We're like, oh no, you know, Sammy's not on the board yet. Day 21, it was winter solstice. We're coming into the, you know, feels like we're creeping into the end of the first week already, but not really. But not a lot was going on at that point. So it really was just a little bit of a few notes on the back here, you know, and that was really it. So we get to the middle of the second signature, and here we go. We've got another card. I've got the letters for my girls. They both wrote me quick little letters instead of greeting cards, since we could not get them out to get greeting cards without me being present. My parents came down sick, so it was like, oh, there went all the shopping. They were going to go shopping. They were going to do all kinds of stuff. Oops. And we couldn't do it. So, yeah, that doesn't fit there. I guess I glued it down in a way that it doesn't fit. Oh, no. I'll have to fix that. Okay. So, and, you know, I had an empty page. So, again, I did a cluster, and I showed, you know, all the things we did do this year. It wasn't like it was a bucket list, but this was a bucket list sort of near the end where I knew exactly what we had done and what we were about to do. So I sort of just created this cute little path of things that we did in about the order we did them in to a point. A few dates here and there, so I knew, yep, I sent holiday cards on the 8th. You know, we always relaxed by the fire. We saw Christmas lights near the end. You know, we read a Christmas story, of course, Christmas Eve. Read a few Christmas stories that night. We realized we hadn't read any of the books that they grew up with. So we read, like, each one of us read a book that night. It was super cute. Like, Lizzie read The Night Before Christmas. Samantha read Skippy Joe Jones. And it was a cute little Christmas, like, snowy Christmas book. You know, I read the Mistletoe. Something that they loved when they were kids. And so we read a number of books. Each one of us took a turn and read one of their favorite books from when they were little. And it was a great way to sort of finish the night. Since we had played, you know, 3 hours of Monopoly, there wasn't really time for Polar Express. It's the first time in a couple of years that we haven't watched Polar Express on Christmas Eve. But for once we played, we hung out together instead of, you know, relying on the TV to keep us entertained. But the next night, or not the next night, but, you know, into the break before Christmas itself, we finally went to the movies. We were supposed to, you know, we didn't do too much of that this year, so we finally got to go see another big movie. My daughter couldn't wait for it to come out. She was so stoked it was coming out after her birthday, so that was a great way to make up for her not being able to go out on her birthday weekend. Then it got to the Christmas Eve. It was cookies, it was pizza, it was lots of Christmas movies. We watched like 2 or 3 different movies that night. You know, had a fire going, just, you know, trying to make the most of what it was before Christmas. And then, of course, the big 3-hour Christmas Eve movie. Sammy kept her throne because we come to find out we played Monopoly the year before, also on Christmas Eve, and she won then too. So she was on it. She was determined to win again, which was awesome. And I just, you know, again, love the layout, the photos that they got, you know, and sort of what we did, what we couldn't do, what we wanted to watch that night. Just sort of made the most of the day since my parents were sick and, you know, missing people left and right. So just really relaxed and made the best of it. But this is how it went. You know, I got either to show off what I was producing. I was showing off what the kids did. You know, I got my new sidekick, Sizzix die cut. So though I took these out and put the actual die cuts elsewhere, I had the stencil left over. So I played with my stamps and my dies and, you know, had fun on the page. Here, though, near the end, I was able to get PS moments. I had written something showed up near the end of the night. And so I either wrote it later that night or even the next day. I was like, oh my gosh, guess what happened last night that I didn't know was going to happen. I do have one more picture to put here. It's sitting on my desktop to remind me, but, you know, again, wrote something and then sort of had a 2-part deal and went, oh my gosh, something else happened I wasn't really expecting near the end of the year. Nothing great, like, massive, but just, it led me to some reflection. So, you know, you have to write about it. And then we get to the 30th and the 31st. I really need to learn to clean up my writing. Jeez. Now, yeah, it's really hard when I think I wrote about 3 different things here because my days kept changing. some plans kept moving. We get to the end here. It's a nice little pockets tuck. So I had this was on a stick and it said goodbye 2022. Really fitting at this point. And then my envelope, I wasn't sure what we were going to do, but I need to go rewrite in it. So it's in pen. But each panel had something different, like what we did in the morning, what we did in the afternoon, and then like who we hung out with that night, what else may have gone on during the day, and then like the plans for the night, what we actually did. And it was not a bad way to use the envelope, right? It's a great little, it's like opening up one of those finger things if you're growing up as a kid. I know in the 80s and 90s, it was all those things. You put 2 fingers in it and you'd open and close it like fishies, and you'd open it up and you'd have to tell a color or a name or a number type of thing. Fun little kid game. But that's what it sort of reminds me of. We open it up and there's all this information in it. So I will go back and ink that so that we can read it real easy and it doesn't wear off throughout the years. But I thought it was sort of a fun way, since I didn't really have photos or anything to like glue onto the tabs to open up. I got to just write on each one the things that we did throughout the day, since I didn't really have a full page to write on. So I figured it was a nice way to sort of finish off the year, since it was tight in that sense. Like I didn't have perfectly laid out, you know, page for page. But then again, you know, there's days where I finally at the end wrote on 2 pages, or didn't have anything to show for it, but just wrote on it. So I put a card in there. So it definitely was a wash. I think if I let it be and went with the flow, I might have even had pages left over in the back. And that's where I could have put all my Christmas cards. But I don't mind the breakdown either, showing the day where day 4 starts, you know, me off with a card, and then I get to read what was going on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I don't have anything on here. Okay. Other days like, oh gosh, I was working on that. Let me read about it. So great way, you know, you can label out your days, label out your numbers, and stick to your guns and get it done. This is my C's candy wrapper, which is always so pretty. I may make some kind of folded pocket apart. I want to make some kind of origami pockety thing and with the paper and just glue it down. So I still have a little bit more work to do to this, little things to touch up on, but I wanted to give you guys, you know, the rundown of my pretty little book. It has a little bit of kick out. I have a little fabric, a little paper, a little ribbon. Who knows what this end here on the back, but it does have a little bit of, you know, weight to it. It has a little bit of fluff. You know, and hopefully I can still get it now that I've added all the goodies in it. Hopefully I can get it in my little baggie. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this quick weekend video. There are 2 more videos coming up this week, so hopefully you'll stay tuned as we continue on with vellum windowed inserts and the gingerbread house possibly, and I have some collaged Kleenex box toppers that I use for pockets and tucks, and so we're going to collage a couple of these and just sort of cover them to make as ephemera pieces for some friends, like I said. So we're just going to keep creating, and I hope you will join along with me through every moment as we start getting the rhythm of 2 to 3 videos a week. Most of it's going to be crafting, and occasionally we're going to do like a flip through or a happy mail, or hopefully I started playing just a little bit today with some digitals. Didn't get very far, but I just started getting my feet wet, you know, getting my toe in the shallow end. Start playing with digitals, and let's see what comes up. Let's see what inspiration, and maybe by the end of the month, I can actually have a digital reveal for you guys too. So we'll cross our fingers, and I hope you'll keep joining me. You'll join along. You'll keep watching. You'll keep commenting, liking, and loving, and you'll share the concepts and the moments so that we can, you know, keep sharing with others, and hopefully, you know, keep inspiring everyone. So love you all very much. Have a great week for whatever wet, dry, or rainy that it may be, and or snowing for half of you. And we will see you very soon with more crafts. This is Jolene with the Jewel Design. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.